Hey guys, hello, we keep it dirty off-road. Welcome back to the channel as we continue our custom center console install on our Gen1 Raptor. Now, if you're new to the channel, in this video series, we've done quite a bit. So far, we've showed you guys how to remove the console on the first video. And on the second video, we did all the customization needed to get the console integrated into the truck. In this video, we're going to focus on getting our layout set out and getting all of our plates cut up and done up so that we can fit all of our accessories into the center console. Now, to start things off, this project has completely taken me out of my comfort zone. I've had to learn new skills. I had to do a ton of research on how to do all that stuff, but it's been a ton of fun too because, you know, every time you try new things, it's just fun. To get things started, first, we wanted to do all the manual cutting for all the plates because of the problems with getting things laser cut or plasma cut. Usually when you have to do plasma cutting, it requires a minimum order and there's long lead times where it could take up to 4 weeks or more, especially nowadays with lead times of everything. So we started with the manual process first and tried to manually cut the plates ourselves. And here's how I went. So now I've never done this before, but I'm going to give it a try, get it all cut up, and see how we do. At first, I started by drilling the 4 corners, while at the same time, Ethan was cutting some wood spacers for me so we can use those to figure out the height of the shifter plate. Once the holes were drilled, I cut all 4 sides with the large angle grinder, making sure I gave myself a few millimeters off the cutting line so that I can go back then with the Dremel and grind that down to the exact precise measurements I needed and also get those notches in because it had a couple notches that had to be cut in there. We got this all laid out. We do have to reroute the cable, try to give us a little bit more, and I still gotta cut that hole, but are you fondling my console?
Would you like to fondle your console? I mean, your hand can't fit into here. It's not that bad.
Now here we were trying to mark the holes for the screws. Once located, we drilled the holes out and started cutting the upfitter switch slots. We're at a much better point for the mock-up. Figure out where our plate needs to be cut back here to kind of fit back there. That fits good. This fits good. We just have to secure this now, but I think we got the height right. Yeah, it's looking good. I think the other thing that sucks is that we definitely don't have enough space back here. It'd be nice to have like a little swing type door here, right? Kind of like a glove box. I am going to do like USB ports and stuff like that here. I'm gonna leave this open for another set of switches, right? Like if I can find another set of these, I'm gonna put it right there. And then cup holders, I think we're gonna put right there for now, and then we're gonna leave that front and this back area open. I got the little L brackets to hold that in place on order, so those should be here pretty soon. But yeah, we should have what we need. In some respects, we do have less storage, but we have that whole side arm right there to use as storage. So we have options, and then later on we can always do a door type setup back here, make it like a little storage cubby that opens up, and we can do more storage back here. But for now, I'm happy how this is looking. Oh, and then the 2 buttons that you need, right? Those 2 buttons down there, the off-road mode and the hill assist, we're gonna put right here, and then we're gonna put the intercom over here. So we'll have the radios here, buttons here, so very close to where they used to be. Intercom here, that's gonna get relocated here. Upfitter switches here. Leave us the option to get another one. And RPG makes a kit where you can just add all this stuff, and it comes with all the wire harnesses and everything you need to with relays. So I may do that and put another set here. And then over here, we're gonna do like cigarette lighter and a couple of USB ports. Oh yeah, and we still have to figure out a spot for that little box, that AV box for the nav system. I think what I'm gonna do, Ethan, is when we end up doing this right here, I'm gonna cut it out so I can put that nav box thing right underneath it.
I hate you.
I think that'll look cool. This for another project. I'm thinking of doing a speaker box that goes all the way to the back so I can get a proper subwoofer in here.
Good luck.
Alright, so we just got to cut this up, finish this up, and we should be in a good spot. So after struggling for a few days, cuts aren't that great. I mean, you could see the edges. The edges are pretty shitty. They're pretty sharp. And then I tried to cut the buttons, and cutting the buttons was super hard. I couldn't get a bit in here small enough to cut it. I mean, I was taking these Dremel disc and wiring them down, and I mean, I was getting down to the metal just to try to get the fine cuts, and even then it wasn't fitting correctly. So I had to give up on manual cutting and move over to laser cut. Now this wasn't too easy. I don't know how to use CAD, even though my brother, my dad, they all use CAD. I don't know how to use it, so I basically got a free copy of Fusion 360, watched a bunch of YouTube videos to figure out how I need to do things in it and how to use the software. and I designed these so I can get them cut. And the results are impressive. I mean, the cuts are far cleaner. Everything's a little bit more precise. I don't have to worry about all the extra space, but you do have to make sure you have a caliper when you're doing this so you can get the precise measurements you need. And then you have to make sure you measure the cutouts and not the stuff itself, because you need tolerances. These are all a little bit bigger than the pieces you're putting in there, and you need to have that tolerance in there so that the buttons can actually fit in there. Because if you make it to fit, it's not going to go through and metal doesn't get. I put all this together, put it all on CAD, and used the local company, GroveFabWorks. Richard there was able to get us all this stuff turned around within like 2-3 days after he gave him the file. He also, with the quick diagram and file, he was able to make a standoff for us. So I gave him a file on, where that needed to be and all that stuff. And then he also made us a template for the Yaosu radio, because unfortunately Troy Products does not have a template for the Yaosu radio, so we had to design our own, and this one is just right. It fits it. I highly recommend Richard at GroveFabWorks for any kind of laser cutting projects. He's a small one-man shop, but what makes it cool about him is that no job was too small. When we were originally looking at getting the pieces laser cut, we ran into two problems. One, I didn't know CAD, so I had to learn how to use CAD, and then two, most of the shops that do laser cuts have a minimum order as well as long lead times. So they don't take small jobs like mine, and if they do, it's at the bottom of the list, and it takes a month or more to get those cut. So that wasn't a good option for us. GroveFabWorks didn't have minimum orders. He's a small shop. All he cares about is taking care of those small shops that want faster service. We gave him the files, let him know the material size we wanted. I set him a bend file. He's able to do the bending. He's able to do the welding. And he took care of all of that for us in just 2 to 3 days. It was so awesome. I'm a big proponent of supporting these smaller shops, so highly recommend them. We paid full price for his work, and I love what I got. Highly recommend them. So now, next steps is we got to fill it all in, make sure it works. We're not going to use those. This was helpful to get the right height, but this is what's actually going to fit. And if you notice, guys, I have 2 slots. This is for the main switches, and then I went to RPG and got their second set of switches kit, their whole wiring harness to wire everything up. So for now, we're gonna get it in the truck, get our shifter set up, because that's the big thing. I need the shifter set up so I can mock everything else up and see where we're at. And then from there, once we got everything mocked up, we got 2 choices. We can either wire everything up and make sure it's done and call it done and then just paint these, or I can get these powder coated. Still not sure what I want to do. Powder coat would be the best option. It's gonna give me the cleanest look, but it means an additional downtime. The truck's already been down 2 weeks as I've been working through the parts, as I've been waiting to get laser cuts and all that stuff. If I have to powder coat, it's going to be done another 2 weeks, which really sucks. I hate having the truck down, but that may be an option to get the cleanest look. I think what we're going to do is we're going to get it all together. I'm going to get it all wired up, test it out for any rattles, right? Figure out where the rattles are. And then depending on how that goes and the testing goes and how the layouts work, then we'll decide to powder coat. So we only do 1 powder coat. It's a lesson learned in the past, especially when it comes to the rack. You tend to tweak it as you go along and as you use it. And I'd rather pay for 1 powder coat rather than powder coat it, fix a bunch of shit, and then try to go powder coat it again. Let's go get it in. Now, because I want to make this easy to remove, I'm going to be using jack nuts again. We used them before on the fenders. They slide in. They work a lot like rib nuts, but a little bit stronger hold. There she is, easily removable now. Now we just gotta mount her inside and figure out where this is gonna go. That's a hard part.
You're gonna mount her?
Yes. Damn. Okay, now what we have to do is figure out where this plate needs to go down in here. Got everything laid out to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. So you got the shifter here, intercom, my 2 buttons, radios, upfitter switches here, cigarette lighters and power port right there, and then we'll have the rest of the stuff go here. So we know that everything fits, so now I just gotta remove the plates, mark off the holes so we can get the holes in the right location, and then we should be good. There's hole 1, 2, can't do a hole 3 because that's where the amp is, and then hole 4. See, the one up front can't be drilled, right where the amp goes. Back one, we'll have to work around that and that. I want to have at least 3 points. Now we got to make sure that the cable's going to be long enough, so let's do that. Does the cable look like it's going to reach? Oh yeah. We're going to have just enough cable to do this. But I do want to relocate it. I don't like it coming sideways like that. I think we got to have it come through here. But this is also smoother, so I don't know. Let's figure that out here in a second. Let's get this out and drill that. We already got our 2 jack nuts in here and here, but this is a little bit bigger. So what I did is I put a washer on it. I'm going to slide it into there, and then we're going to try to secure it in there. Hopefully it works. Fingers crossed. Okay, that's connected. It's right here. That's connected. And we're short. And no, we're like right fucking there. There it is. I just set the bullet. That's what she said. See, let's get the rear one in first. Alright, that's in. Now to test this thing. She fitting. So we got to get this bracket exchanged because it's not the right one, so that's just taped in. This is the custom one we made for this thing. Intercom. Buttons are going to require a little bit of trimming, so we're going to take care of that. Got my 2 sets of switches. And I still got room to grow. And then we still got to add the side for the cup holder. But it's coming along. The layout's looking pretty good. So here pretty soon we're going to be able to start doing cabling. So I think for this video, guys, this is it. In the next video, we're going to start laying everything out. We're going to start figuring out our cup holders. We're going to start wiring everything up. I got to figure out a spot for that because I really don't need it out in the open. We may be able to put it like there, I guess. You don't even need to secure it. You just got to bang it in, Dad. Just got to bang it in. Maybe we'll just leave that there for now. And yeah, we're getting close. So next, we're going to work on getting everything in its final position, get everything wired, get the cup holders. We got to figure out what we're going to do here. I have a feeling I want to do like a little flip-up thing, right? Like a little flip-up drawer. Same thing back here. I don't know. We got to figure it all out. All right, guys. So thanks, guys, for watching. If you have any comments or questions, put them down below. I am going to put any drawings that I use to make this, I am going to put them on a Google Drive somewhere. So if you guys want to do something like this, I'm going to take some of the guesswork out for you guys and put my shifter plate and all that stuff up on a Google Drive so you guys can use those files and get your own laser cut pieces if you don't want to learn CAD. Yep, questions, comments below. Please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.